So now, after watching part one and part two, we see that Nikola Tesla created this like remote-sized device, or who knows really how big it really was, right? But created this device that can tune into frequencies, and I guess he tuned into the frequency of the area, the building, the street, the block that he was on. Seems like that's what caused the earthquake, which is really interesting because I did also come across this video that I'm going to play right now. And when you listen to this video, someone who's obviously studied Nikola Tesla's work, you start to put little things together. And I'm also going to throw in another little angle that I of something I've seen recently from another, I guess you could say, fellow conspiracy theorist. Though a lot of this, some of it is not conspiracy theory, but I'm gonna put a little clip of that lady's or girl's clip of her video, which is an interesting thing I just recently started, I guess you could say, getting into a little bit, but still half and half. But anyway, it'll make sense. I'll explain how it's connected at the end. But I want you to watch this video, short little 6-minute video with me, and connect the dots.
So now we're searching for the magic frequency. And we start with 100 hertz, and we look through the microscope to see if anything's happening. We watch for 5 minutes. Nothing happens. We try hundreds and hundreds of frequencies, if not thousands, until we find the magic combination. Because we believed there just had to be a better way. There had to be a better way. And we think we may have found it. I have here 2 identical tuning forks, both tuned to the note A, the note an orchestra tunes to. These forks are both made to vibrate 440 times per second. We say their frequency is 440 hertz. If I tap this fork, putting little pulses of energy into it, the second fork will also vibrate in sympathy. And if I silence this fork, we just may hear the other singing its tone. We say that I'm inducing a sympathetic resonant vibration in the second fork. It only works because both forks are tuned to the exact same frequency. Now, many of us have seen this very charming young man on the internet who shatters crystal glasses with his powerful voice. But if you watch him carefully, you'll see that first he taps the glass with his finger and listens. The glass sings its natural resonant pitch. Then he takes a deep breath and sings a loud, long note. He induces a resonant vibration in the crystal glass. The vibration grows larger and larger and larger until the glass is shattered. On the other end of the scale, we have a giant bridge made out of concrete and steel, a suspension bridge, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Cars and trucks and buses are going over it every day. And unfortunately, where they built this bridge, there was a steady wind blowing across it. And one day this wind induces a small vibration in the bridge, hardly noticeable. But the frequency of the vibration matches the resonant frequency of some part of the bridge. And the vibration gets larger and larger and larger until the bridge collapses into the river below. A destructive resonant frequency. So on one end of the scale, we have a giant concrete and steel bridge destroyed by resonance. And on the other, we have a small crystal glass shattered. So maybe we could shatter something even smaller, something really small, something you would need a microscope to see. Maybe we could shatter a living microorganism. So maybe we could change a biological living liquid crystal with a special electronic signal. But in order to do that, we would need some kind of device. So we search the US patent database, and we find this invention by a physician, Dr. James Bear of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's called a resonant frequency therapy device, and its purpose is to induce a resonant vibration in a living organism or cell. If I put in, say, 100 hertz, out will come 100 pulses per second. If I put in 200 hertz, we'll get 200 pulses. So now we're searching for the magic frequency. And we start with 100 hertz, and we look through the microscope to see if anything's happening. We watch for 5 minutes. Nothing happens. So we try 101 hertz. We look through the scope for 5 minutes, and nothing happens. So we try 102, 103, and so on. Over the course of 15 months, we try hundreds and hundreds of frequencies, if not thousands, until we find the magic combination. The answer is you have to have 2 input frequencies, one low, one high, and the higher frequency must be 11 times the lower. It's what we musicians would call the 11th harmonic. When we add the 11th harmonic, we begin to shatter microorganisms like a crystal glass. These are the first videos taken. We showed these videos to our friends in the biology department. They said they hadn't seen anything quite like it. Seems to be a new phenomenon. These organisms are being shattered by our electronic signals. We now know that cancer is vulnerable between the frequencies of 100,000 hertz and 300,000 hertz. So now we attack leukemia cells. Leukemia cell number 1 tries to grow a copy of itself, but the new cell is shattered into dozens of fragments and scattered across the slide. Leukemia cell number 2 then hyperinflates and also dies. Leukemia cell number 3 then tries to make another cancer cell. The new cell is shattered and the original cell dies.
If you want to find the secrets to the universe, think in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. Nikola Tesla's greatest quote, that is literally, understanding that is like hacking the matrix, right? Hacking this reality. And I think that's what Nikola Tesla did with the discovery of what he was experimenting with in, I believe that was New York City, right? On that day. I think he made a massive discovery. And you got a prime example right here, right now, of a guy that makes YouTube videos shattering glasses, right? He's prepping, he's creating the matching the frequency, or creating the right frequency to create that, to make that happen. The fork made the other fork vibrate and move, right? By matching the frequency. Because it's already a match, right? So it makes it for me, it's like, okay, so that's kind of what Tesla did. Did he like tap into the frequency of the area he was in and cause it to vibrate? I mean, what does this really mean? I mean, there's so many ways to think of it. I really want to hear from some of you on the comments below. What do you know? What conclusions did you come up with? What have you researched and connected dots with this? I mean, at the end of the day, guys, we're all just super hungry for this type of knowledge. And we just want to know. We just want to figure things out. We want to learn more and more about this and learn these secrets and what Nikola Tesla was talking about. And it's interesting. I also want to play a video right here. I'm going to play it just in a little bit. I'll put it somewhere here, of another TikToker that made a video that was really interesting, talking about this, I guess, this concept of there being other continents and other land and beings living, outside this wall, ice wall. And that supposedly, these beings, I mean, look, I'm not saying I necessarily believe in this. This is another conspiracy theory, but it things like that do interest me. whether it's been proven correct or not yet, or whatever you want to label it as. And I'm sure some people will think it's completely crazy and nonsense. But I guess you wouldn't know until you go past the ice wall yourself, right? Or someone does and records it, right? Which honestly, I did actually see a recording of some pilot back when it was black and white video. I believe it was a black and white video. Yeah, I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. But it was an old video, either way, whether black or white or not. It was an old video, and they're flying over that area, and they see land, water, trees, everything, and they're recording it, and they're amazed, and they're talking about how this is why why men, love to go and discover new things and blah, 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 because they just felt like they discovered a whole new big patch of land on the other side.
Of what is beyond the ice wall.
Girl in this video said basically these other beings want to help, and the reason why they can't is because when they try to come over the wall, there's so much tight, surveillance, different types of surveillance, and that gets triggered. And when it gets triggered for trespassing, I guess you could say, earthquakes are created. So that's why supposedly these other beings aren't just coming over and helping us, is because if they do, it causes an earthquake. So it makes me think,
So a lot of you guys want to know, why isn't anyone outside of our dome trying to help us? But the thing is, they are trying. This land right here, called the Ancestral Republic, is full of humans that actually escaped one of the resets that the custodians at Anunnaki placed upon Earth. The ancestral humans of the Republic are actively trying to free us inside the known lands. As you can see, there's an entrance here, and there's many more portals to get into the known lands and out. But every time a being from the Ancestral Republic tries to enter into the known land, it sets off an earthquake. The custodians and Anunnaki have such a tight surveillance system. Anytime a being tries to enter into our dome, it sets off small or large earthquakes in the surrounding areas. So the beings from the Ancestral Republic can't get in through the entrances, so they're trying to figure out a way to make their own entrance.
They seem to have gained access to this technology, right? They have access to Nikola Tesla's work. We know there's a lot of files and information that Nikola Tesla had that is missing. We know the government has their hands on it, right? So what do they do with this type of stuff, Is that even connected in any way? I don't know. I'm just reaching here. But I want to know what you guys think, because when you start to put some of these things together, right, what this YouTuber is able to do with the glass, right, this example with the tuning forks, the story of Nikola Tesla creating this thing and having this whole earthquake creation experience, which obviously some people probably just don't believe it, and I guess you could say maybe it is a conspiracy theory in the sense of, maybe there's not like legit proof that it's actually happened, other than just the stories that people are telling that I know of, right? If you guys know that there's actual proof out there that this actually occurred, yes, I would love that information. Comment below, drop some links of some information. Shout out to Video Advice. This YouTube channel has amazing videos. So I'm going to start sharing, videos and things that I see that I put together my own way. I love to connect the dots, and I love to go down the rabbit hole, because you go down a rabbit hole and literally you just, it's insane. You just really start to see things differently. You start to connect the dots, and it becomes pretty insane when you start going down the rabbit hole. But with that being said, I do want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? What does this all mean to you? You saw part 1, you saw part 2, and also keep in mind you saw one of the previous videos on the rabbit hole TikTok about the frequencies, and how there was a special combination of 5 frequencies that made this dust or sand or whatever on the plate rise and start to move like a living being, right? It was a combination of 5 frequencies that made this become like somewhat of a 3D moving object, right? So really think about that. When you put one frequency on a plate of sand or dust, whatever, it creates like a 2D geometrical pattern, whatever, right? Pretty cool. But supposedly 5 together can make a object. It can make it rise and form like an object, and that's pretty cool, especially when you start to combine it with what we're talking about here. And it's all related to vibration, frequency, and energy, and that's what really gets my attention. And the more we start to connect these dots, and stuff, even simulation theory concepts, you start to see how these dots connect. It's a very interesting thing. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe.